Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Taroscopes. We're going to be doing the Taroscopes for the sign of Libra. That's Libra Sun, Libra Moon, Libra Rising for the month of November 2023. Before we get to the tarot, and I'm going to look at the astrology, but I want to make a few just remarks about the last month. Intense. What else can you say? Intense in so many ways. And unfortunately, most of the news we get is the bad news, but there are good things happening. There are changes happening. It's just not getting pressed. So know that as horrible as the horrible things we're seeing are happening, there are good things happening as well. Because as a Libra, you know that everything balances out. Everything balances out. It really kind of depends on where you're putting your attention as to what you're seeing. And so Libra has a way of seeing both sides of things. That is the point, really, of Libra. It is a Venus ruled sign. Venus just came out of her retrograde shadow. And, Venus has been getting beat up pretty big since really the last time she was retrograde in Capricorn. She came out of that retrograde. And that was the year we lost in America of the Dobbs decision. A patriarchal power maybe like overlording on women's bodies. I mean, we're tired of being abused, controlled, having our children die. Come on now, guys, we are done with that. And Libra, kind of, we could say, might be leading the march on that. Libra is a cardinal sign. Libras do like to lead, but they like to lead through consensus and diplomacy. They like to listen. It's about listening to each other. And we had an eclipse with the new moon in Libra, very powerful eclipse in a very powerful eclipse season, South Node eclipse season. Pluto squaring the nodes. The South Node in Libra. Libras have been busy. Lawyers have been busy, right? Renegotiating, relooking at, reevaluating the law. And there's only one law that really counts, and that's what goes around comes around. Man's justice may be blind, but cosmic justice is not. You play, you pay, you pay, you play. It's a back and forth. You got Libras know. So thank you for Libra for being willing and holding the space. Okay, let's take a look at the astrology. I'm going to be doing the astrology, then the tarot, then the oracle pull. And I'm using the Illuminati deck for you Libras this month. So, all right, let's look at the astrology. Okay, here we go. Oh, I can go right here. Awesome. Okay. Let's just find your sign, Libra. Oops. Here we go. Okay. So Libra, the sun. Oh, this should not be here. This little sun here. X that out. Venus is in Libra this month. And does actually Venus, I'm sorry, Venus starts the month in Virgo. Now Venus is your ruling planet. Of course, you know that, right, Libra? And Venus has been in Virgo working really hard. In your chart, it's in your 12th house. So you've had a lot of help from your guides and your angels and your dead loved ones who are here to help support you through this very, very difficult time. And then Libra, Venus moves into Libra, the sign of her rulership. Venus really likes being in Libra. It's your sign. It's when you're most powerful. Venus in Libra can be diplomacy. So this is a time of diplomacy. This is a time of diplomacy. Let's see, when does that happen? Venus, 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 Venus. Venus will ingress into Libra on the 8th of November. So that's really when there can be an earnest sort of energy towards some sort of diplomacy, peace, talking, all that kind of stuff. We're going to ignore the sun in the first house because I forgot to take it out. The sun this month is in Scorpio and Sag. It's in Scorpio until the 22nd when it moves into Sag. The sun moving through your second house of values, including your value of yourself. Important to love yourself during this period. A lot of self-care is necessary here. We have the new moon here as well. We have a new moon in Scorpio that's happening on the 13th. That's a Monday. And that new moon is in a very tight opposition to Uranus. New moons hold the potential of the cycle, right? So this is an opportunity, a new cycle for doing things in a new way. Mercury, the planet of the mind, starts the month in Scorpio right here, but by the 8th, it moves into Sag and spending its time in your third house of the mind. So Mercury, the planet of the mind, in the house of the mind, you're really going to mind, but there's a lot of thinking, a lot of information, a lot of understanding, a lot of sort of going through the details here. Getting all the facts, so to speak. So that's something that happens for most of the month once Mars moves into that third house. Mercury moves into that third house of Sagittarius. The next planet, we have the sun in your second house until the 22nd when it moves into your third house, when it moves into Sag. When the sun enters Sag, when Mercury enters Sag, when Mars enters Sag, the first thing it does is it squares Saturn. Saturn is stationing direct in the first week. So Saturn is holding steady here and starting to progress forward. These squares to Saturn are last quarter crisis in consciousness, crisis in belief squares. It's about reorienting yourself. It's about turning away from the old structures that don't serve, that have no use or function anymore. Like controlling women's bodies or headscarves or don't say gay bills or closing down to our own history. Okay. Jupiter is retrograde this month still in Taurus, a Venus-ruled sign. This is your house of shared resources. So this is a good time to go over that. Maybe go over your insurance policies. This is your taxes and stuff. So make sure you're in good stead with this. This is an opportunity to sort of look it over and make sure it still works for you. You know, sometimes you have as an example, you have an old car, and if you were to get into an accident with it, like a collision, right? You pay for collision on your car. But if your car is too old, they won't fix it. They'll just give you what the car's worth. And it may not be worth you paying that collision because you're only going to get what the car's worth anyway if something happens. So stuff like that, check that out. Make sure everything's, your health insurance is all aligned. Wouldn't it be nice if we didn't have to worry about health insurance? If we could just have it as a right. There you go. There's a thought. Okay. Uranus goes retrograde. Uranus continues to go retrograde in Taurus from the 22nd to the 21st degree. So just a degree. It's moving pretty slow. It's in Taurus. It's in your house of resources. Again, the same house that Jupiter's in, but it's there for 7 years. So it's a little bit less of dotting your I's, crossing your T's, but it's actually in what Uranus does as it moves through the 8th house is it unsticks the emotions. It stops you from emotionally responding in the way that you used to. It sort of frees you up from enmeshment in a way. So it's pretty helpful. And you're a Libra, so you have a tendency to be codependent. You have a tendency for enmeshment and the like. Neptune is retrograde, moves about a degree in that house of health. It's been there for a while. It's in there for a while. I think Neptune in this house, it can be health issues, but I feel it's more of a spiritualization of your work. We do have Saturn. Remember, Saturn goes direct this month. It is in that house of health. You have to do what you have to do for yourself. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, especially make sure you're hydrated, watch your electrolytes, all those balance things, all those homeostatic things. Maybe just get some blood tests to make sure that everything is in normal range. Okay. Just to be careful, be sure. The new moon in Scorpio happens in your second house. It's a new opportunity to plant seed for some resources, perhaps. The full moon in Gemini, which happens on the 28th, the end of the month, with the sun in Sagittarius, is aligning with your third and ninth house. So we get an illumination along the axis of the mind. And so you're going to learn something. You're going to learn something maybe you didn't know. And you're going to utilize that information. Full moons are very Libran in their nature. You see both ends, both sides, the biggest perspective, the most objective place that you can see it from. And you will see something that maybe you hadn't seen before. So that's the 28th. I said that. All right. Let's take a look at just the week. I already talked about some of this. The first week is a week of awareness. We have 3 major oppositions: Sun, Jupiter, Venus, Neptune, Mercury, Uranus. Venus and Neptune are connected because Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. Uranus and Mercury are connected because Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. Jupiter and the Sun are the 2 largest things in the solar system. This is illumination on a big scale at the same time that Saturn goes direct. So we're going to see where we need to go. We're going to see what we need to see. And then when Saturn goes direct, we're going to have to walk in that direction. And Saturn in Pisces is the path of healing. It's a spiritual mission. Week 2, we have Venus and Mercury make trines to the transpersonal, Venus to Pluto. Venus to Pluto, Mercury to Neptune. So we're getting some help from the outer planets to help us make the changes that are necessary. We do have Venus in conjunct Saturn. It's going to require us to maybe have to go without certain things that we really like to have. So just be aware of that. Mercury then sextiles Pluto and squares Saturn. Mercury sextiles Pluto while it's still in Scorpio. Once it moves into Sagittarius, it makes that square to Saturn. Reality check. Mercury sextile, I said that, Mercury squares Saturn. Then Mars at the end of the second week, this is a kind of a tense, dangerous aspect. We have Mars opposing Neptune. It's very, very explosive. And people can go to extremes with this. So you really need to keep your balance through this, okay? Week 3, we have the new moon in Scorpio. That's in your second house, new relationship to yourself, your resources, right? New opportunities, maybe new business, self-employed kind of thing. We have Venus sextile Mars. No, Venus sextile Mercury. The 2 inner planets are talking to each other, and then they point their little arrow at Jupiter and say, what are you going to do to make it better, Jupiter? Jupiter expansion, Jupiter understanding, Jupiter teaching, Jupiter judiciary, to make it more fair for everyone. Mars then makes a trine to Neptune. The sun right afterwards makes a trine to Neptune. Mars and the sun are moving together. They are in the last part of their cycle with each other, their synodic 2-year cycle. This is the end. This is the extracting meaning part as they connect with Neptune. So this is a very powerful time for that. I'll tell you what day that is. I think it's 2 days. I don't have the days up here, but no, it's the same day, the 17th of November. Is when Mars and Neptune and the Sun and Neptune make a trine right at the end of their synodic cycle, because the next day they start a new one at 26 degrees of Scorpio. So there's this energy of ending and new beginning, okay? We have week 4, the Sun. The Sun and Mars are still kind of moving together, so they're doing the same thing, sextiling Pluto. Sun sextile Pluto, Mars sextile Pluto, 300-degree sextile, progressive change, opportunity to move in a different, more progressive, more humanitarian direction. Let's take that. Let's push that. That is what has to happen, guys. Okay. And then we have the sun, and then we have Mars move into Sag and square Saturn, saying, okay, that's a great idea. How are you going to make it real? What do you got to do? Saturn in Pisces wants the healing to be real healing, not just band-aid stuff, not just settle down, people, and in another 10 years we're going to do it again. No, heal it. Talk to each other. And for those who are not willing to come to this place, then they can no longer be at the table. Week 5, Venus in Libra is in a yod again. Poor Venus, always getting caught in these yods. Uranus and Neptune, transpersonal planets of Venus and Libra. They're saying, how are you going to change laws? What are you going to do? How are you going to? And Venus will do it because Venus knows her worth. Venus is the goddess, and the goddess is alive, and magic is afoot, guys. The feminine is rising, and she's not going to take prisoners because she's not going to need to take prisoners, but she is going to hold you accountable. And then we have full moon in Gemini. That full moon in Gemini is in that house of mind, as I said before. So we'll have an illumination. And then we have Mercury square Neptune, which is a little confusing. So it's going to take a little bit of faith. Like we're going to see something, and then we have to have faith that we're going to know what to do, like eventually. So, but we will. We always do. We always do. Okay, that's that. All right. So next we're going to do a card reading using the Illuminati deck. Let me go get that. All right, let's get down to the tarot reading. All right. I'm using the Illuminati deck. It's a pretty deck. Libras like pretty. Libras are pretty. Usually tell a Libra ascendant by how symmetrical their features are. All right. We have the Queen of Cups. We start with the Queen of Cups. This is a card of compassion, understanding. This is the queen that when you're feeling low, this is the queen where you want to go, because this is the queen that will make you a cup of tea and make you feel like everything's going to be okay, right? In their sunny kitchen, with their crystals in the window and their little house plants, feeding you tea and biscuits. That's this energy. It's also the energy of being psychic, seeing what's coming, knowing, an inner knowing. It's a Scorpio vibration. And of course, we have the Scorpio new moon this month. We have the Sun and Mars and Mercury in Scorpio this month. So it's a very, very psychic and intuitive time. Let's see what challenges that. Inability to take an action, and we'll dive into this, but there's something about not being able to do that. And if you see, we have an eclipse of the moon here. There's an eclipse going on here. So and we just had a full moon eclipse at the end of October. So what came out of that for you? What was illuminated at that time? There's a sense of perhaps holding back a bit, Yeah. Well, this is where we're at, guys. We're at our tower moment. Now, many of us have wondered when Trump's tower moment was going to happen. It's happening, but it's also happening to us. Did we forget that part? Did we even know that there was a possibility? We're all having a tower moment right now, and this is about all the facades come down, all the things that people say about themselves, they're being seen for who they are. And that's true of you, that's true of me, that's true of everyone. It is a devastating, earth-shaking time for all of us. And you're assigned as the one who, I wouldn't say took the brunt of the eclipse, but a lot of the themes of your sign came up in that eclipse because it was a South Node eclipse. In the past, we have joy and happiness. It seems so far away, doesn't it? It seems like, when did we have the joy? When was that? When exactly did we have that? We've had it. We've just had to catch our moments. It comes in moments, it seems, more than over a long period of time, it seems. In the sky, we have the Princess of Cups. So this can be a message coming out, new information. There's a sensitivity about the Princess of Cups, and naivete about the Princess of Cups. It's like it's the part of us that still believes that there's good in people, that there's good in the world. And what we're going to see in the world is good, is the good in the world. We have the Queen of Swords coming up. This is one of the sort of justice cards. The Queen of Swords is a queen who, through her own effort and wisdom, and I'm trying to, this is such a pretty card. I would just love to be able to, there we go. Her wisdom. It's a card of death and rebirth. You see all the butterflies around her. She has reached this place of poise, her sword straight up in the air, not one way or the other, straight up in the air. Like, this is the sword of truth that she holds. We are being held accountable to truth. This is you, Libra. You're holding everybody accountable for their actions. A lot of anxiety out there in the world. It's an anxious time. This makes complete and utter sense. A lot of mental anguish. Domestic situation. We have the Nine of Cups. This is about getting your wishes fulfilled. Here we go. Little Lord Fauntleroy. Actually, I think he looks a little like Giuliani's son. Yikes. Forget that. Yeah, so at home, there's of everything that's going on, home is the place where things feel like there's some sort of semblance of, this is the kind of space I want to be in. Okay. Hopes and fears are financial. Can I take care of myself? Can I keep my independence and keep my keep food on the table, perhaps? Outcome. The Five of Wands, fighting. But this is creative. This is not, it's not just about fighting. There's a creativity to this, but you do have to watch out you don't get clunked in the head by a wand. I'm just going to pick 3, see if we can get a major arcana. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Moving out of troubled waters, and an ending of an old cycle and the beginning of a new. So I do feel like changes made now because of what we're experiencing and what we're seeing will have long-term consequences, and we are evolving. We are evolving. Let's see what's underneath it. Yes, illumination. The Princess of Pentacles. See the sun rising? Or is it setting? Guess it depends on what direction she's facing. What mountain range is that? illumination for a new beginning, a new relationship to the earth, and abundance. And abundance. What's wrong with all of this? Right? But we have to get through this first. I'm trying. Maybe it doesn't want to focus on this. There we go. I mean, it's a terrifying card, but it's a beautiful card. This is people in their ivory towers. This is people who don't think they can be touched. They can. All right. Let's pull a oracle card now for you, Libra. Just got to collect my cards here without shutting my computer off because I have to do it on top of my computer. All right. Probably right in front of me. Oh, yes, right in front of me. That's why I couldn't find it. Okay. So this is the Spirit of the Wheel Oracle Meditation Deck. It's called a meditation deck. It's called Spirit of the Wheel, All My Relations. We are all related. We are all related. The message for Libra. Budding Tree Moon, Expectation, Process, and Goals. Number 19. I will hold it up as soon as oh, there it is, right there. Okay. Gotta do this to read it. Okay, so here's the card. Beautiful. I think that's a red tail, yeah? Beautiful red tail hawk. Budding Tree Moon. This is March 21st to April 19th. So we're looking at Aries. Those born under Budding Tree Moon have an incredible potential to excel in their chosen field. Unfortunately, unrealistic expectations leave them feeling never quite good enough. To others, however, they are masters of their fields, full of energy and ambition. This card is a reminder to set realistic goals. It is also a time of preparation. Like the squirrel preparing for winter, begin gathering what you need to make your goal a reality. Call upon the drive and ambition of the budding tree moon to assist you. Every great accomplishment is fueled by love and support. So allow others to be part of your dreams. Channel the energy around you. Enjoy the whole process of attaining your goal. Too often we focus on the outcome instead of appreciating the actual process. Great Spirit, help me set realistic expectations for myself by taking the time to honor the process and prepare for my future with confidence. Expectation, process, and goals. So dream big, plan step by step in the direction of your dreams, but keep it open enough in case Spirit wants to give you a boost somehow. Boy, it's been challenging, interesting, difficult. Everything in time. All right, Libra, have yourself the best month you can have. Like and subscribe. If you like this work, give me a thumbs up, share if you like. If you'd like to support me in a more nuts and bolts kind of way, I don't know how else to put it. There's probably another better way to say it. I do have a Patreon page. It's Dr. Vicky at the Seeds on Patreon, and for as little as $5 a month, you can support my work. But just you listening to me, and hopefully this information falls for you, where it can help you navigate this most challenging time that we are experiencing together, and time to co-create something different. A lot is going to depend on our ability to listen to each other, to walk in each other's moccasins. So your work is not quite over yet, Libra, but hopefully we'll get to the point where it's not quite as treacherous and horrifying. If you'd like a reading with me, you can go to my website. I have an hour and a half reading. I do a combination of astrology, Kabbalah, and numerology. It's a very unique kind of reading, and most people really enjoy it and find it very, very helpful. And I do have availability for that, so you can schedule that. Otherwise, I'll see you again next month, or maybe in the morning when I walk through my garden and I talk about the stars, and try to keep the political rants down to a minimum, although it's been more difficult of late because of everything that's been going on. But I also do in the news segments for people who are in the news. And occasionally I do a card reading, which I'm probably going to have to start doing more of. So, all right. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful month. I'll see you again next month. Please take care of yourself. Namaste. I see what I'm doing.